So it's the first time in 4 years this Atleti side have gone into a new season without Antoine Griezmann, who's the leading goal scorer at the club. What will the Atletico Madrid look like going into this new season without him, Lahoud?
Oh, man, Antoine Griezmann is a massive loss. He was a symbol of excellence for such a long time under Cholo Simeone. And look, his rise to stardom, his rise in conjunction with winning a World Cup, it was under the tutelage of Cholo Simeone. He was just that game changer, that difference maker. And him and Julián, last campaign, the last 2 seasons, they were fire and ice. They had such good chemistry. This season, a player that I'm looking at is Ademola Lookman. I think Ademola Lookman, you've covered him in Serie A. Ademola Lookman, these numbers are insane. To have scored 200-plus goals with Atleti is insane. Of all the titles, Europa League wins, the one thing that is missing from Antoine Griezmann's locker that he will even be on record as saying that LaLiga trophy. So close so many times, but no cigar. Ademola Lookman has to come good, and he's a player that I think Nigerian fans will be hoping this is a season that he comes good as well.
Yeah, and that's totally fine, right? Because Atleti have never had the budget of Real Madrid and Barcelona, and it's been a 2-horse race for so many years historically in La Liga. And Griezmann, even though he's entering the twilight of his career, he was still scoring in the double digits. This isn't someone who dropped off massive. This is someone who was still giving you a very reliable goal tally. I worry about some of the replacements brought in. I agree with Lahoud that Ademola Lookman, just with his dynamism, his versatility, can play anywhere in the front line. This is someone now that's going to have to step up and deliver the goals, because this Julián Alvarez situation is a little bit messy with him coming out during the World Cup saying that he fancied that move for around 120 million to Barcelona. The CEO of Atleti said absolutely not, wouldn't even sell him for 200 million. We just got word before the show that his buyout is $577 million, which is an insane amount of money that no one's going to pay. Just a crazy number thrown out there. So the Julián Alvarez situation is a little bit sticky right now for Atleti.
Yeah. Should we take a look at some of the transfers that Atletico Madrid have brought in? They've welcomed 4 new faces, spending about 160 million. And Lahoud, you're going to grade them. And look, you have to remember, this is an Atleti side that spends so much more than all the other teams in La Liga. Yeah,
the last 2 or 3 summer transfer windows, they've been spending the big bucks, right? Morten Hjulmand, if you've never seen him play, go back and watch him with Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. He's a box-to-box midfielder. He's going to put in the work. And remember, Koke is not getting any younger. Koke has been the symbol of Atleti. He's the captain. And in that midfield rotation, it gives Cholo Simeone an option and a more durable midfielder to get in there. I'm going to give him a B to start out because of the industry, and you need to have bare minimum to play for Cholo, a warrior spirit, a warrior mentality, and a bit of industry. Kang-In Lee, he's an enigma. And Matteo, I know that you have some opinions on this. I'm going to go B- with him solely because of the feeling that I got from him at the recent World Cup for South Korea. Look, he's got the talent, but the inconsistency for me, I wouldn't be surprised if he's coming off the bench this season. That's how much I worry about him in terms of inconsistency.
Well, who's he replacing? Because he's never really been a volume goal scorer. He's a good dribbler. He's good in tight spaces. He's got lovely ball control. But he was a career backup at PSG. He could never crack that starting 11, which, again, very hard to do when you've got multiple Ballon d'Or winner types in front of you. But I would go maybe C. I love the Hjulmand grade. Hjulmand is someone who is physical. He's big. He's got good ball control as well. Plays right in that number 6 position. I love Hjulmand signing much more than Kang-In Lee so far.
Yeah, look, speaking of love, I've got a man crush on Alex Grimaldo. Literally, I love you. I love you. Oh, wow. I love the way he plays. I love the way he carries himself. He's one of the sexiest footballers in terms of how he plays, in terms of just his presence alone that I've seen in the last 3 or 4 seasons. Under Xabi Alonso, he was a game changer. He was up there with some of the top fullbacks in the world in that invincible season for Bayer Leverkusen. It got a bit undone in the Europa League final against Atalanta. The whole team did. But he has quietly gone about his business the last 18 months of being consistent. He's an upgrade from
Matteo. Let me ask you something. Would it be fair, though, to say, yes, I totally agree with that, definitely much more offensively, but is he going to have the same license to roam forward with Diego Simeone?
He's going to have even more license because, remember, Atleti can go to a back 5. And watching the recent preseason friendly against Marseille, they deployed him as a wingback, and as a wingback, that's what he played for Leverkusen.
And
I think that's where you get the best
his
out of him.
inverted runs too. He's not just going to stay outside. He'll cut inside. Him and Frimpong did it so well. Join up, overload the flanks, and that's how they created so many goals.
Fresh off winning a World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Always helps.
He's going to be teaming with confidence. I'm going to give him an A-. I'm going to give it in that A category because he also delivers a quality ball from dead ball situations. You think of free kicks, you think of corner kicks and everything in the sun. He is that peach of quality. Now, Cuti Romero.
Better be an A+.
I'm going A, but tell me why it's an A+ for you.
It's not an A+. It's an A. The plus gets taken away because of his inevitable red card, but he is the embodiment of Diego Simeone. He is rough. He loses his head. He's annoying to play against. He's everything that Diego Simeone wants from his center backs, and I think he likes that volatility. Can you imagine this guy in El Clasico? What's he going to do? A volcano's going to come out of his head. He's not going to stay on the pitch for 90 minutes, and I think that's where you take away the plus from the A.
Yeah, look, Cuti Romero was made to play for Cholo Simeone and made to play for Atleti. He is a leader in this back line. Watching players like David Hansko last season, yes, against Barcelona, your David Hansko stepped up, but they need someone who's going to have a bit between their teeth, who's going to just kick every single person. I loved watching him ascend to be a leader for Argentina at the World Cup. People are going to maybe disagree with how he went about it with Argentina. You could say the same thing about the whole Argentine national team at different points.
Is he going to be a liability, though, in the big games where it's tense and the atmosphere gets to him and he loses his mind and he does something that ends up costing Atleti points?
Could be, but you could say the same thing about so many players at Atleti.
But he's especially a problem.
I think Cholo Simeone will definitely get that sense of controlled aggression. He's a player that needs to know it's okay for him to toe the line a bit. Lionel Scaloni gave him that freedom, and he reveled in it. Cholo Simeone was at his matches at a World Cup. So I think he's a player that I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at maybe the future captain for Atleti, depending on how long he stays at the club. He is that important to their back line, their solidarity, and I agree with you. In the Madrid derbies, in the matches against Barcelona, you think of Atleti absorbing pressure against the Barcelona, hitting Julián, hitting Ademola Lookman in transition. He's got quality on the ball as well. He is a very important signing, probably the most important signing of the summer.
That's the face he gives you when you give him an A, not an A+.
It's identity.
Yeah.
Simeone knows exactly what kind of characteristics he wants from each of the lines, and I think Hjulmand and Romero especially fit in perfectly to the identity as we see the starting 11, and of course, that spine now, man, that is going to be difficult to break down, isn't it?
Yeah, really. I completely forgot about Alex Baena. I thought he was impressive at the World Cup. One player that most people don't talk about is Pablo Barrios. He missed the majority of the second half of last season, and he was a player that I actually thought he had a chance to go on Spain's World Cup squad and make the squad. He was impressive. Remember the Madrid derby when Atleti waxed Real Madrid 5-2 at the Metropolitano? He was a standout performer. One player that could be missing out significantly. This is a massive, massive season for USMNT midfielder Johnny Cardozo.
Yeah.
The midfield is clogged now with Hjulmand coming in.
This does not look like a team that's going to challenge for me for La Liga. I think they are third or fourth. I think Villarreal is in the mix with their brilliant manager as well. This looks like a team that is typical Atletico Madrid. They'll be their third. They'll make things difficult for Barcelona and for Real Madrid when they face them in El Clasico, but they'll make things really difficult, and that's pretty much it. They're not going to win any La Liga titles, that's for sure.
You say they're not going to challenge, and this is the projected 11 with Alvarez. We know that whole transfer saga there. If we take a look at the starting 11 without Alvarez, how are they going to replace him if he were to go to Barcelona on September 2nd?
I think you're looking at pretty much it. Sorloth was linked to other teams in the beginning of the summer. He stays put, obviously, if Julián Alvarez moves anywhere. It doesn't look like it, though. The CEO of Atleti has come out and said, I don't want to sell this guy even for 200 million. The offer was there, apparently written in stone, from Barcelona during the World Cup when Argentina were having the run, 100 to 120 million euro bonuses or whatever. Julián Alvarez wanted to go. That was the main target for Barcelona to pretty much replace Ferran Torres. And even if it's messy, this is probably how it's going to look like. Sorloth, Lookman, that's a pretty good front line. And it feels like they would complement each other, Lahoud.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. Alex Baena could also go up front, maybe if Sorloth is coming off the bench, which he did quite a bit last season with Cholo. I just think that Atleti, I know you don't give him a chance for La Liga, What about Copa del Rey? I think they will avenge their loss in the final for Copa del Rey.
Yeah, well, do they win a trophy? It may not be LaLiga, but...
Yeah, they can win.
600?
Copa del Rey is their best chance, and they've gone far. They've gone to the semi-final in the Champions League. They've gone to the final of the Copa del Rey. They've knocked out Barcelona from the Copa as well. So they've done damage in these cups. That's where Simeone is taking them so close to the mountaintop so many times. But it's that elusive big trophy, right? They've come so close so many times in this spell, and I think that Simeone, he's pretty much overachieved. If you look at his entire Atleti career, just like getting them in Champions League finals, who would have expected that? He's done a great job.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.